Hello and welcome to another edition of Siena Saints Weekly. I'm your host, Andrew Champagne. In just a moment, we'll be joined by Chris Roth from Siena Men's Lacrosse. But first, let's take a look at the week that was in Siena athletics. Men's basketball split the annual Buffalo trip this past week, losing at Niagara but topping Canisius. The Saints are now tied for 6th in the MAC with Niagara with 3 conference games left on the schedule. They don't have long to relax, though, as they'll host Manhattan in a Valentine's Day showdown on Tuesday night before going to Hofstra for the annual ESPN Bracket Busters game on Saturday afternoon. The Siena women, meanwhile, also split a 2-game road trip, edging St. Peter's but falling at Marist. Now 6-8 in conference, but just 2 games out of 3rd place, the Saints have a massive 2-game homestand coming up this weekend. They'll host Manhattan Friday night before playing Ryder on Sunday afternoon in the program's annual Senior Day. And plenty of spring sports start up this weekend. Baseball opens this Friday at Tulane, water polo debuts at the Bison Invitational at Bucknell, and men's lacrosse starts their quest for a 2nd consecutive MAC championship this Sunday at the Carrier Dome against Hobart. Joining me now is Tri-Captain Chris Roth. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Andrew.
My pleasure. With less than a week until the start of the season, how's the team coming together?
The team's coming together well. We've had 3 scrimmages, and our latest one being yesterday afternoon at Yale. And we still have 1 more week to prepare and get fine-tuned before Hobart.
Last year's team ended its season in the NCAA tournament against Syracuse, and there's a lot of firepower coming back. 8 of the team's top 9 scorers from a year ago are back here in Loudonville. How fun is it playing in an offense that's that explosive?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It helps to be comfortable with the guys you're playing with, and for a lot of us, this is our 3rd year playing together. And we lost John Rogner, which is a big loss, but there's a couple of freshmen that are coming in who can really play.
There are some changes in Loudonville, though, as John Svett comes in for his first season as the head coach. What has he brought to this program?
He brings a fun style of play. He likes to play fast, and he's a real player's coach, and the players really respond to him.
Siena was picked 2nd in the MAC this season behind Detroit, despite returning so much talent and having won the league last year. How much motivation is that, knowing that heading into the year?
Yeah, it's a lot of motivation. Yeah, after winning the MAC championship and returning so many players to be picked 2nd, it's a lot of motivation. It's our job this season to just prove to the coaches and everyone that they made the wrong decision, hopefully.
You're away from home for the first 6 games of the season, including some tough road games at Johns Hopkins and at St. John's. It's a tough early season schedule. What do you hope to get out of it?
Those games are big, especially for the freshmen. To just play and see that level of competition early in the season, it gets you better prepared for games later in the season and close games, and hopefully we can get a couple great wins out of those.
How much fun is it playing in those kinds of venues? You open at the Carrier Dome, you go down to Homewood Field to face Johns Hopkins. That's got to be fun. Yeah,
it is. This is going to be my 4th time playing in the Carrier Dome, and it's a lot of fun. It's a very cool venue. So many famous people have played there on the field before us, and also John Hopkins. It's a great venue. That's Homewood Field's probably the most famous venue in all of lacrosse. So it's a lot of fun to play there and just to take in the history that's happened before you.
What are your goals for this season?
Our goals are to win the MAC championship and then win a first-round game in the NCAA tournament.
Lightning round time. Here we go. Your favorite movie?
Favorite movie, The Departed.
Favorite TV show?
Homeland.
Funniest member of the team?
Pat Daly.
What's the funniest thing he's done to try to loosen the team up?
I can name 100. He always just gives us jokes when we're stretching and just makes everyone laugh before practice.
Your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet is when you take a test and the teachers do not let you out until everyone is done with the test.
Ooh, yeah. Having been a college student a couple of years ago, I remember those days. Yeah. Not a lot of fun.
No.
Not fun at all.
Nope.
Last question. If you could have dinner with any 3 people, dead or alive, who would they be?
My mother, Eli Manning, and Muhammad Ali.
Really? Interesting little group there, getting some suck-up points with your mother as well. That's a really nice touch.
She'd kill me.
Well, Chris, thanks very much for your time and best of luck this season.
Thank you for having me.
Again, Chris and the Saints open the 2012 campaign this Sunday at the Carrier Dome against Hobart. If you can't make the trip out to Syracuse, the game will be broadcast around the state on Time Warner Cable Sports. The opening face-off is set for 5 p.m. That'll wrap things up for this edition of Siena Saints Weekly. I'm Andrew Champagne, and I'll see you next week.